What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon
What's up? What's up?
and LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? So, welcome back to the show. Of course, if you're an avid listener, you know our schedule and what have you. But if it's the first time you're picking up the show, so Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday we have a discussion, and then Thursday Ask Us SP. We don't have that this week. That's usually where we talk to people who are trying to break into the industry. And then Friday we talk about everything else. So that's the weekly rundown: video games, music, books, things of that nature. So definitely tune in for that as well. But also, if you listen to this, it should be episode 209, I believe. So we're almost tracking, to 225, 250. Like we're moving pretty quick. So definitely continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article comes from CNN Business, and it's written by Jennifer Korn. Excuse me. And the title of it is "Google to Invest $9.5 billion with a B in U.S. offices and data centers this year." Right. So Google said it plans to invest $9.5 billion in U.S. offices and data centers around the country this year, which is up from the $7 billion they invested in 2021, right? So what kind of strikes me with this is that I remember when COVID kicked off, there was all these companies that when they had people working that were not going into office spaces, like they tried to make it seem like, okay, this could be the way going forward. You know what I mean? Like we could be fine, not having a permanent space, saving on rent. It all seemed like a good idea. But now that COVID is dying down some, they're all like, all right, let's get back in there, right? Let's go, let's go get people back into the office. Now, mind you, to be fair here, Google is doing a hybrid model. What they mentioned in the articles, they're doing a hybrid model. So what they're going to have is employees working in office 3 days a week, right? And this is after they've been fully remote for 2 years now, right? March was 2 years of when COVID really kicked off in the United States. So, but yeah, so this was one of those things. So they actually have a quote in here from Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Alphabet and Google. And he said, "It might seem counterintuitive to step up our investment in physical offices, even as we embrace more flexibility in how we work," right? So he's saying, okay, we are trying to be flexible in how we work, but we are going to invest $9.5 billion in data centers and office spaces. Now, mind you, this is not brand new office spaces all around. Now, there are going to be some new ones that are getting built, right? So I think they're going to be opening an office in Atlanta, which I like to see that, right? Because when it comes to Atlanta, when it comes to the amount of Black people that live in Atlanta, right? And I'm not saying everybody, this is going to be the percentage of people that are hired on, but when it comes to the demographic, it's 50% Black, right? So they mentioned they're going to open an office in Atlanta this year, 2022, and also plans on investing in data centers in Iowa, Nebraska, Tennessee. They're going to expand their office spaces in Austin and New York. Now, Austin, I had to look up these demographics, right? Because I was like, okay, let's see what this actually does. Now, when it comes to Austin, only 7.8% Black, right? So I'm like, not really helping out people of color there, right? New York City, that's a different story, which just actually kind of surprised me, right? Because New York City was actually only 24% Black or African American, and I was kind of shocked by that. I thought the number would be a little higher, but but still, I mean, it's something, right, to put them in those other places to help when it comes to people of color and whatnot. And again, putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to the billions of dollars in these places. But they say it's going to be something that's expected to create 12,000 new full-time jobs at the company this year. So Google's trying to do their part, right? But this whole, getting office spaces and whatnot, when COVID first kicked off, everybody acted like they were fine with it, but apparently not. You know what I mean? But LeVon, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's just like you were saying. It's it's good to see these investments, and it's hopefully going to help some of the minority-based communities as well. I like to see some of these tech companies kind of go to places where they're less less affluent, or I don't know, less people that have lower income or have less opportunity to get to these tech hubs. Like obviously, a lot of big tech hubs are in the California, like the I can't think of the name. Yeah, Seattle, Washington. A lot of those places, have the big, the big Microsoft, the Apples, the Googles, all those are big hubs for those locations. But now they're starting to spread out. Google's trying to find these other opportunities elsewhere. But it's good. It's good investment. I like to see that, tech is obviously a big thing. It's starting to become, one of the if it is like the biggest like industry out there, I think, as far as like it's one of the most I don't know, fastest growing, and it's one of the things that I think a lot of people are starting to become more aware of compared to like maybe some other industries, like I don't know, clothing or like industrial type stuff. But IT's become such a big point in everybody's lives. Everybody's getting connected. Everything's starting to become more digital, starting to move away from like paper and all that kind of stuff. So seeing Google make these big moves is a good thing, and hopefully they continue on with the trend. And hopefully they expand to some other places as well that maybe have more minority focused population. But what do you think about this one, Ryan?
Yeah, so I do like that they are making the investment. However, I think it's starting to spell the end of remote work over the next couple of years. Like you don't build office spaces to not occupy them, right? Like you don't pay rent someplace if you don't expect people to be in their seats. So it's interesting. Like I would like to see their diagrams, or whatever, where they can pinpoint like, yeah, we're making record-making profits. I don't know if Google is, but the majority of the industry seems to be making record-making profits when people are working from home. Like, so what are you seeing? Like, is it a lack of production, or is it just trying to build some new synergy or something like that, where you feel people need to come back to the office because the two of them just don't seem to be mixing. I would definitely like to see those statistics or whatever, because you see this across the board. People are like, yeah, it's time to come back. But if we're doing well, then why are we coming back? So are they not doing well? Are they not being productive? I'm hating, because I was hoping to go back into the civilian world and not have to commute. Like that's the most ideal situation, right? Like let me just do my task from anywhere, so I don't have to actually take that long commute to the workplace. So we'll see what happens. Like hopefully it is just going to be hybrid, and this won't be us all going back to the brick and mortar cubicles and things of that nature, because that was looking good. but we'll definitely see. But I do like that they're potentially making 12,000 new jobs, right? So that does bode well for just not only bringing in people of color, but also just filling in those seats where they say there's millions of vacant positions, right? Or we need people in tech, we need people in cybersecurity, yet it seems to be hard to get them through the pipeline. So there's 12,000 more jobs out there. So 12,000 new vacancies. So we'll see what happens. Definitely interesting. Definitely something I want to bring back up in the near future, because we talked about with Apple, where they're like, hey, it's time for you guys to come back on campus. Now you're talking about Google. It's like, hey, we have more hybrid positions. We're opening new offices in these new areas. So it looks like they're like, hey, everybody, it's time to come back to your seats. So we'll see what comes of it. But definitely interesting topic. Again, for those of you listening, so Monday, Tuesday are topics. Wednesday's discussion. So definitely tune in for that one. I think this one's pretty interesting as well. No Ask a CISP this week. Still trying to line up some guests. And then Friday's everything else. So that'd definitely be an interesting conversation. We've definitely watched a lot of TVs and movies. I got a new game system, so that'd be something we talk about. So definitely tune in for that as well. Hit up our social medias. They're all our name. So the other side of the firewall podcast, as well as you can hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Yeah, you can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.